I heard about the film and had seen the film, the original version, years ago, and could vaguely remember it, and remembered sort of liking the idea of it, and then read the script and just loved the script. You know, it was a great character. There was a bunch of different levels and things going on, and for me it was a story about brothers and friends and family, and I've got two brothers, so it was sort of something that I could draw from in that experience. I had a good 6 weeks of training with those guys, and John Barton, who's an ex-Marine, and a bunch of other Marines and guys from the Army, and weapons training, movement training with the gun, hand signals, and just hanging around those guys and getting a vibe for it and listening to the stories they told, and getting sort of inside the head of that world. More important than anything, that was what we got from it, was the sort of individual relationships we got, with each other and as a group. It was kind of in the end more important than the weapons training. It sort of comes secondary, I think, and it was great. It was a really good opportunity to go out and we had little BB gun, BB pellets, which we were shooting each other with, which was a nice introduction to hey gun, my name's Chris, and we're all bleeding by the end of it. Jed ever really, was never attracted to her before he'd come back from the war. I think he was his brother's friend, or she was a couple of years younger than him. Knew who she was, but when he comes back from the war 6 years later, she's grown up into this beautiful woman, and all of a sudden he's like, wow, I didn't remember you looking like that, and so that the very first scene, they sort of, there's obvious chemistry, which kicks off, and then throughout the film they become closer and closer, and I think she's a little older than most of the other kids, so they form that bond, and I think he leans to her for support through a lot of this, and vice versa. Dan's fantastic. I probably have never had so much freedom or felt as comfortable, as I have with him. He has had so much trust in us and just given us that room to go for it, whether it be kind of ad-libbing some stuff or just with what we, generally want to do within the scenes, and has such a strong, sense of the truth in all of this, and that's been great. It's great in films where there's such an imposing theme, and it's so heavy and it's overwhelming at times, to just have scenes that are about something completely different. It's a breath of fresh air to all of a sudden be talking about high school or something other than the war, because it's in your face for 90% of the film. But it's all been fun.
The story kind of, all in all, stays very true to the original movie. It stays very true, like the young people who go away to the woods to fight back and start launching these attacks in on the big army and stuff like that. But it was just really updated. It was modernized, because today's audience, I think, is much more demanding, and they demand a better plot, better action sequences, everything. So we kind of just had to raise the overall bar of the whole story. Dan Bradley is like a grizzly bear. He's like about 9 feet tall, about 6 feet wide, and he's very physically intimidating, but he's like a giant teddy bear, like the nicest guy. Coming from that big kind of action background, I knew that the action stuff was going to be amazing, but I wasn't so sure about like the character stuff and whatnot. But Dan really just knocked it out of the park, and we had great producers on set as well that kind of helped out with everything, and it was a great experience. I loved working with Dan. The story kind of unfolds as the U.S. is invaded by North Korea, and takes place in Spokane, Washington, and this group of young people from 24 to 16 kind of band together and start launching these attacks to fight back against the army and try to drive them out of the town and try to get an upper hand on them and try to help out with the army. And eventually they link up with some actually army guys, and they kind of together sort of start taking down the army inside of Spokane. It's very, very epic, a lot of action. It's very kind of cool, like guerrilla war tactics and whatnot. It's cool just to see a small group of young people just fighting against something so much bigger than them. We actually had some real-life boot camp training that we did for the movie. They brought us out to the desert, basically, and took us to this place called the Kill Village, which is this little kind of makeshift town they'd set up. And basically with airsoft guns, we went through and like learned how to like train and like clear rooms and all those different Army tactics. And then we actually did with live weapons with like blank ammunition, like moving in groups and how to like move the gun like underneath so you're never pointing at somebody, because you know it's a blank. If there's something in the barrel, it can still kill somebody. But yeah, it's very, very cool. You felt very badass and epic, and we wore like fatigues, and we ate like Marine MREs the entire time. It was a pretty cool experience. Definitely a bonding experience too, and that carried over into Michigan, because once we were up there shooting, everywhere we went, it was like the Wolverines. Like there was 8 of us going everywhere, like to dinner, to the gym, to the movies. Every single time we were all together, so it was very much a bonding experience. Adrian Pilecki plays Tony, who is the kind of pretty girl in the story who Jed sort of has a past with, and they kind of have this bit of a romantic touch-and-go thing throughout. And then also Isabel Lucas plays Erica, who's Matt's girlfriend. And throughout the story, it's kind of cool to see these girls kind of kicking some ass, because they kind of come in and even in training, they were just like as tough as the guys were, and they kind of picked up on all the tactics as much as we did, which is really cool. Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays Colonel Tanner, and he comes in just kind of like rock'em sock'em cowboy, almost Army guy, and we link up with him and his Army guys team, and basically they kind of help us when we're doing the final big raid where we're going to the building, because we need their extra guns and their extra Army know-how. And Jeffrey was great. He kind of really embodied that sort of like tough cowboy kind of Army guy sort of role, and he was great to work with.
So I have a confession to make, guys. Whenever I see an action movie, it changes me a little bit. I drive a little bit faster. I size people up when I look at them. I have a theme song when I'm walking in my head. When you get done shooting an action movie, what kind of effect does it have on you?
I started carrying around a gun.
Naturally.
Why not?
Well, you spent some time in Texas. That's just how we say hello.
Exactly, it's true.
Right?
It's true, and I grew up in Ohio, so it's all, you know.
Right. How's it going? Good to see you.
Nice to see you. I got street cred no matter what.
Naturally.
Gat or no gat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's gun.
Yeah, you were hardcore.
So listen, I didn't really have to up my street cred at all.
That's true.
It was just sort of established.
And you do have the stubble. The stubble helps
Thank
a lot.
you.
I don't know if you can
Good.
tell. This is like 3 weeks worth.
This is
well
3
done.
years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't shaved in 3 years.
All right.
If you're seeing this broadcast, you are in a part of the country no longer controlled by the government of the United States.
Boys, I love you both, but I want you to do what I would do. Kill this piece.
They mess with the wrong family.
But you know, a lot of people are excited about this movie because a lot of people love the original 1984 Red Dawn. And I just started thinking, kind of hypothetically, if the new cast could remake another classic film, which film would you like to remake, and which roles would you want to take over?
Ooh, we could remake, even though I don't ever want this movie to be remade, but we could remake Princess Bride.
That would be pretty good.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Can I be
You
Andre
could
the Giant?
You could be Enrique Montoya.
I could do that too.
Would you be
Deserve
Buttercup?
to die. Oh, of course.
Naturally.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
I like the possibilities of that.
Chris could be Carrie, always.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Naturally.
you know,
Has
of course.
to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll remake any Barbra Streisand movie just to make my mom happy. Just by chance that she'll be in it. I'll give it to her.
Good man.
That's
Good
Kinda
man.
like Funny Girl?
Why not?
All right.
No.
No.
Yes. Yes.
How did this happen?
There's a new class of weapon. Everything went offline and never came back. They wipe us out, including U.S. Central Command.
What am I supposed to do?
I'm gonna fight. Anybody who wants to join is welcome to it. We'll hit them on our terms. We're the Wolverines, and we create chaos.
So obviously some time has passed since you guys have made this. There were some legal issues with the studio, so we're all very excited that it's now finally coming out. What is the biggest difference between the two of you on that poster that shot the movie and the two of you sitting in front of me right now?
Well, the hair color. No.
Puberty.
Exactly.
The stubble finally
Yeah.
came in?
I don't know. A lot has happened in 3 years. I'm so excited that this movie really helped me in the career path I've taken, which is, you know, doing a lot of action. And this movie did really prep me for a lot of the other roles I had after this. So
For sure. For sure.
we all kind of came up together. It was really great. I mean, it was before Chris did Thor,
Right.
and, you know, it was kind of the start of everything
Right.
for us.
I'm a baby there. Now I'm a baby man.
Baby man.
So it's slow. I mean, give me a couple more years.
Right.
Early 30s, I could actually be a man.
I know, you're giving the sex
Yeah,
face.
look at that.
I mean, look at
Look at
those
that.
lips.
Yeah,
and you're just
kind of like just
sultry.
kind of partially open.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like, wait, what do models do? Prune. I don't, you know, it was like such a Red Dawn was. We were there. It was 4 months, and we were all kind of like. It was like a random, almost like dysfunctional family dynamic we had going on, and we were just kind of all in the trenches together, almost literally. And so I mean, I've thought about it a lot in the last couple of years, and just been eager for it to come out, and because I'm really proud of the movie and everyone involved. Like, you know, our director Dan Bradley is such a talented filmmaker, and this is his first film that he's been the director of primarily, and so you know, for him especially, I just want people to see it.
We need to steal that weapon. It'd be the foothold we need and take our homes back.
I can't.
Yes, you can. Relax. And squeeze. We inherited our freedom. Now it's up to all of us to fight for it.
I'd never seen the original Red Dawn, so I purposely did not see it before seeing this because I wanted to see it on its own, be completely original for me. But a lot of my friends give me a hard time for never having seen the original one. What is that classic movie that you're ashamed to say, I've never seen it?
I've never seen Terminator. I'm sorry.
Bummer.
I'm not a bad person.
You've never seen Terminator?
No.
Apocalypse Now? Never saw that.
We'll have a Terminator Apocalypse Now date. We'll
Okay.
all get together, have a good time. Then we'll watch the original Red Dawn. Guys, congratulations on this. So good to see you.
For them, this is just some place. For us, this is our home.